Hello, replayers. How are you guys? Got a little update. How are you guys doing? Gonna let the room fill in. Kerr, what's up, guys? Got a little bit of Wayne. What's up? Got an update? What's good? Markets are good. Life is good. What else is good? Everything's good, man. Everything's good. No complaints. No complaints, that's for sure. Alright, guys. 100 pips today so far. It's 12:56. This is the hourly charts, the 1 hour charts. Euro USD, you can see exactly where the long was called. Exactly where the short was called. Does new affect your auto? Not sure what you mean by that. Oh, news. Believe it or not, the algorithm can sometimes, and most of the time, detects the news before it actually gets released. I can't release how I do that, but that is the fact and has been one of the major reasons why the algo is successful, especially when it comes to news-related events, aka Fed speak, so-called Fed speak. So, you know, I wanted to hop on around lunchtime, and you can see, like, it's short and the market's still coming down. You know, I entitled this 100 Pip Passion for a reason. Guys, if you could invite followers, that would be great. Let me know that you guys are here. I think I'm going to make a nice announcement for you guys tonight. Hopefully, we get a lot of people on tonight. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't see any hearts. Oh, thank you for the invites. Thank you. It seems like there's about a 2-second lag between what I say and when you guys react. So I know that Periscope is not exactly real time, but 2 seconds is good enough. Look at that. Look at how we're crashing here. Now, this is not usual because right now people are usually at lunch on the East Coast. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the invites, guys. Always appreciated. Even if you don't have many followers, it does help because you can bet. Now, this is where being a coder comes in handy. You can bet that Periscope is tracking who's inviting and basically giving those accounts greater pull in the search area, and they're going to be running some type of algorithm that's tracking the love that certain broadcasters get. So even if you don't have a single follower, the invites will still help, and I believe that there is a lot of tracking done on Periscope's behalf. I appreciate the hearts. I appreciate whatever love that you guys give. The shares on Twitter, the shares on Periscope, you can bet that Periscope is in fact tracking all of that. Okay? So that's where being a coder helps with marketing and gaining a following, etc., etc. Boom, look at that. Algorithm is now popping off along. You guys see that? You got That's a little bit of Eddie Murphy screaming in the background. Tomorrow is non-farm. That's correct. So tomorrow is going to be, you know, the AM probably going to be a nice play in the morning, some good volatility. So, you know, we just have to take that into consideration. If you don't have a system, you might want to be flat. And if you are not flat, you're going to have to check your risk. April, thank you for the invite. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you for the blue hearts. Thank you. Do you know that it took me, when I first started using Periscope, it took me so long to actually understand that the color of your heart was based upon the color of your chat box, because I was always going into rooms where there were so many people that I couldn't determine which hearts were mine and which were not. I know. So if you go into a room where there's not that many people commenting, it's easy to tell that it's your hearts. But if you go into rooms where, you know, there's a lot of people commenting and talking and blah, 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 then it's extremely difficult to tell if they're actually your hearts. So that's pretty funny. Orp, what's up? So, guys, we took a little short position here, but the major play, of course, was in the morning. The morning volatility has been really good in the Euro USD. A lot of people repositioning risk. Repositioning risk. Let me show you guys why there's a lot of repositioning of risk. The reason why there's a lot of repositioning and risk has a lot to do with the Fed speak, alright? However, I want to show you something. I hope it's still on Bloomberg. I'm looking at Bloomberg's headlines right now to try and find exactly where this article was. Anyways, there was a lot of negative news that came out on Bloomberg. One of those negative news reports being that Blackstone, I think, was going to fire 400 people. Alright, so there was a lot of negative outlooks from China, a lot of negative job outlooks. So, you know, here's the dichotomy, right? Tomorrow we've got non-farm payrolls, I believe 8:30. And let me just check real quick. You know, no matter what non-farm payroll says, if one of the, you know, one of the pinnacle financial companies, I would consider BlackRock, they're firing 400 people. You know, what does that mean for non-farm payrolls? If non-farm payrolls comes out, everything's peachy clean, you know, everything's peachy. Yeah, there's a lot of news early tomorrow morning. And in fact, I'm actually looking forward to waking up early and making sure that I show you guys exactly how Prime reacts even before the news comes out. So there were a lot of negative news reports in terms of corporate bond issues this week as well. Default rates climbing in the corporate bonds. That's not good. And Muscaratus, what's up? Thank you for joining. You know, there's a lot of risk in the system right now that's not being priced in, and especially when it comes to corporate bonds and municipal bonds and all of these other aspects that a lot of people do not consider on a day-to-day basis. However, the markets are always watching, and the market is always right. The market is always right. And so what we have to look out for is exactly how much of that risk is priced into the market as a trader. Rosetta Sewell, what's up? So how is that priced into the market in terms of exactly how much of it has been anticipated already? Are traders anticipating that the bad news is already priced into the market, or is it not? And sometimes news will give you a fairly accurate indication of how much of it is priced into the market and how much is not. But the fact of the matter is that when the Fed themselves can't forecast, you know, 2 months out whether we're in a great position with jobs and so forth, you have to really wonder how well other analysts are doing. Thank you for joining, guys. Appreciate you hopping in. So, that is the big question for tomorrow. When non-farm payrolls comes out, how much of the risk is priced into the market, how much is not? You've got big financial institutions firing people. And the question is how much of that firing is due because they don't need those people? because computer systems like this have taken over trading? How many of those jobs are eliminated because of this? Right? Think about that. So if they're going to fire 400 people, that was a very negative thing for them to do in terms of economic status. A lot of those people being in the tri-state area in New York, but I'm sure there are people from all over the world that will take that hit. Those are generally high-paying jobs. Finance jobs are generally high-paying. Easily $150K a year, $100 to $150K a year. And those individuals will have to look for jobs elsewhere. Now, if that's not a negative thing, I don't know what is, right? And if non-farm payrolls comes out positive, it's going to be like, what is this? What is statistical? You know, the statistics lag always. These reports are lagging, all right? These reports are lagging. They're telling us about, you know, what BlackRock decided 6 months ago. Their CEOs and their executives decided to make this push for firing, you know, 6 months ago. However, non-farm payrolls, you know, is that going to be in the same direction in terms of negativity? Because all the non-farm payrolls that are coming out, they try to make them look as positive as possible. And that's what you have to know going forward, is that just because a report says something does not mean that it's a reflection of the current economy. And that is why I would never trade based upon a report. However, if you have a way, if you have an edge of gaming the report and getting into it beforehand, obviously you can see that that would be lucrative. You know, obviously the Fed reports are lucrative, right? I mean, we've taken, we've taken 80 to 150 pips out of the market every single day for the past week. So that's how we have to start looking at things, guys. Anyways, the update is that we took a long, now here we're taking a little, we took a short, now here we're taking a little long. We'll see if this either rolls over or continues upward. Obviously, I'm not trying to forecast that. I'm leaving that to the system. I'm leaving that to the system. When the system tells me to take a trade, I just do it. I just do it because I've done the back testing and the live testing, and I know exactly what the probability is of the program being right. And get this, guys. Right now we're at 98.7% correctness. 98.7%. This is the hourly chart. Euro USD. So I don't have a chance of beating 97 or 98.7%. I don't have a chance of beating that. So I just do what the algorithm tells me to do. Okay? And what we always do, just in case, we limit risk. You know, if you're having difficulty pulling the trigger in a position, well, we just fired off a long in the hourly chart. So go long, take a 20-point stop, take a 20-pip stop, and then just go long. And you can see the long is starting to work out. But, you know, there's always chop, especially around tops. Look at how much chop is down here, right? Tons of chop. We've got 10-pip move, 15-pip move. You know, right here, this is a 20-pip move. So 20-pip range, even though we fired off long here, we had 4 hours where there wasn't much movement, and then boom. What's happening is the algorithm is determining the long before the force comes into the market. What is the force? This is where a bank decided to go long. This is where the algorithm decided to go long. The algorithm was ahead of the bank. The algorithm was ahead of retail traders. The algorithm was ahead of the hedge fund. And you can bet at this point down here, there was some statistical arbitrage hedge fund that decided to go long, and that helped this pop here. Whenever you see something like a price that goes sideways and then a sharp down and up, at this bottom point, you can bet there are stat arb hedge funds that went long. And they put a few $1 billion into the market. Now, that's not exaggeration. That's exactly what happened. Okay? Whenever you see that there's sideways price action and then a dip and then a sharp pop, if there is no news that causes that, that is a stat arb play. Alright? So guys, I will be on tonight. You know, this position here, I don't know how long it's going to go higher. I'm going to ride it until the algorithm tells me to go short, at which point I will go short. It doesn't matter to me because there's no emotion involved here. I'm just going to let the algorithm take care of it. I'm just going to let FX Prime take care of it. I'm outsourcing my stress to FX. That's what I'm doing. I'm outsourcing it. I'm outsourcing the quantitative and the technical analysis to FX Prime. Because you know why? Because that's what I can do. I've dealt with it. It's been 5 years coding this. And in that 5 years, I did all of the analysis. I put all the time in. And now it's time to sit back and just collect pips. Now it's time to sit back and get what's ours, what's mine, what's coming to us for putting in the work. All right? So, and thankfully, we've gotten to that point. Thankfully, we've gotten to that point. It wasn't easy. Now, check this out. I would highly recommend, if you don't have any systems, to be flat tomorrow morning. Do not be taking positions ahead of the non-farm pre-roll. We're likely to get some quick volatility and you will not be able to de-risk. So the way you deal with that is you wait until non-farm payrolls come out, and then possibly you have entry with your system, or you could be a discretionary trader and say enter on the next hourly candle. I'm going to try and get up earlier and earlier. Last night I was up late coding, working on something for you guys. The algorithm improves every single day because every single day I notice something that can be improved. I notice something that, you know, an extra 5 pips here, an extra 5 pips there that I want to take advantage of. And so naturally what that means is that there must be a continual evolution. So I'm going to try and hop on as early as possible. This morning, you guys can see, man, the force came in this morning. Alright, this pop occurred at 3 a.m. So that this is the Asia Open. Okay? But, you know, we would have had to have been up by 5 a.m. to really take advantage of this as a discretionary trader. Whereas the system identified, you know, when I was last scoping, I think it was 10:30 a.m. or 10:30 p.m. last night, which is around here. Right after I got off the scope with you guys, it turned upwards. Is it possible to have it self-update? Well, essentially that's what the algorithm is doing with artificial intelligence. But that's considering the data. So basically it's learning based upon the data. Is it possible to code something that actually not only teaches itself, but actually teaches itself how to learn? Well, we're not there yet with technology. I'm sure we will be soon, though. Alright, guys? So, I will see you guys tonight. We're probably going to pop on to a scope after the workout about 9:30 p.m. This position looks fairly decent. I don't know. I would have liked to see a bigger pop, personally, but we'll just keep paying attention to the system. I'll just keep doing what the system tells me, and just keep doing what FX tells me. So, I will see you tonight, guys, about 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm going to have an announcement for you guys tonight, alright? You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.